I love seeing non-human characters' fascination with humans. Caine and Rose both explore this disconnect, while also touching on themes of purpose, power, communication, love, growth, and what it means to be truly free. But lovers... Hi, I'm Athena. We overanalyze cartoons here, and this is going to be a really short intro because I am too excited for this one. Okay, as much as I love this floating pair of dentures, we have to acknowledge the elephant in the room. Having a beautiful, magical alien lady or mermaid sing how she wants to be a boring old human like the rest of us gives off a very different vibe than this little freak. I crack up at the thought of Caine singing, "Part of your world." Oh, did I forget to mention that I hired a lot of incredible animators to bring my goofy-ass ideas to life? Well, now I did. Let's begin by introducing these two bombshells.
Who are you people?
Caine from the Amazing Digital Circus is an AI. They established this right at the start, and despite that, many people thought he was secretly a human. He is not. Thank goodness. That pink diamond is rose quartz plot twist did irreversible damage to all of us. It was well executed and made a lot of sense in that show, but animation fans nowadays just crave giant twists like that where they are not necessary. I remember 2 episodes in, people thought that Jax was also an AI sent to destroy them all. That would have been cute and silly, but no. Also, even though Caine is not a human himself, he is a broken reflection of one. He distorts the input he's given, he has a different understanding of a world he'll never experience, and he was punished for it. Much like how Pink Diamond was punished for her different relationship with Earth. We'll get to it. The Amazing Digital Circus never intended to focus on world building, but instead hone in on the humans' absolutely terrible coping mechanisms. I made a video only 4 episodes into the Amazing Digital Circus, and dude, I ate with the Hope in Hopelessness Together title. Moving on to our other superstar, Pink Diamond is the youngest of the Diamond Authority. She was given Earth as her first colony to drain it of its resources, creating more gems for their army, for tech. Some gems are just walls and combs and furniture. But instead of destroying Earth, Pink Diamond ended up falling in love with the life there, much to the dismay of the other 3 Diamond leaders. Pink faked her own death and was permanently reborn as Rose Quartz, leader of the rebellion, before she ended up dying for real, giving birth to her half-human child Steven, who she passed down her gem to. Rose Quartz / Pink Diamond, as we didn't know her, is gone forever.
She's gone!
Her story is told out of order, because we of course follow her son, the titular bitchular, Steven Universe. This kid is born into some pretty messed up circumstances, surrounded by people mourning his mother. The Crystal Gem Rebellion is mourning Rose Quartz, the bad guys, the Diamonds, are mourning Pink Diamond, and no one knows they're the same person except for Pearl. Even though Rose romanticized the shit out of humanity, she also adores whenever her own species deviates from the norm.
I've been imagining things, even when you haven't asked me to. I imagined that I ran away and met you here on Earth. Isn't that ridiculous? Tell me to stop. Please don't ever stop.
Under the Diamond Authority, fusion is only acceptable to accomplish a task, and also only when the gems are the same. When 2 or more different gems fuse, they create something entirely new, something less predictable that can threaten the order of things. Fascism 101.
Only on Earth, don't you think? Only on Earth where anything can happen. A fusion of 2 completely different gems. Can all gems do that? How have I never heard of this? I've only ever heard that it's unheard of.
Before Garnet, Rose was only fighting for Earth. But Garnet changed everything. Rose wanted to fight for her. She wanted to fight for gems.
Rose loved fusing. It is a representation of relationships and how the new gem fusion is greater than the sum of its parts. I think Caine would love fusing. He's described as a lover without a heart, Of course he'd love to get lost in a brand new being, while also being closer to somebody else. Hell, he already absorbed his more successful brother. As you can see, I have no transition into this, but I wanted, nay, needed, to see what Rose and Caine would look like doing a little fusion dance, and what would their fusion be called? Someone in the comments of my last community post proposed calcium quartz. I love them so much, they're real to me.
I'm not a real person.
From Caine's ringleader persona to Rose being a sort of secret identity she ended up fully taking on, both of these characters are used to faking everything, which is, not necessarily a trait foreign to humans at all. In fact, they mimic humans as well as they can, but they do so in opposite ways. Rose mimics the compassion she's seen from humans, while Caine mimics the control he's seen from humans. Both Rose's tears and Caine's snap are able to heal the physical form of humans. Rose and Caine, despite their many, many shortcomings, really try to protect the humans. While these godlike beings feel emotional pain and a whole lot of existentialism, they for the most part don't feel physical pain, unlike us. Let's take a step back. Humans getting injured in Steven Universe is exactly how humans would normally get injured. Peridot testing gravity on Greg by pushing him off the roof just to prove how fragile he is my favorite example ever. I will never not laugh. But in The Amazing Digital Circus, the humans have avatars that are way more stretchy and resilient. The main way we've seen humans sustain injury in The Amazing Digital Circus is either by completely giving up and turning into an abstraction, which is the only way they can die, or when an abstraction attacks. Ragatha was thrown around by her dead friend in the very first episode, and she begs Pomni to find Caine. Her voice is glitching, her body is distorting, she's very clearly unstable, until Caine snaps his fingers and she's fixed.
I am in so much pain!
Like nothing ever happened. Both powers can also be used for destruction. Blue Diamond used her tears to force despair onto others, and Caine also snaps his fingers to delete the characters he's created.
Oh, looks like one of these guys made it through.
Wait, what? You think I could get a raise after that performance?
Oh, you're getting too smart. Time to delete.
Both Caine and Rose have major setbacks in being accepted by anyone. Let's start with feeling trapped. When Caine was created, he couldn't copy human creations exactly and was cast aside, put in a box as he watched his replacement succeed. Pink Diamond was locked in a room by Blue, much like how Caine was locked away for not being good enough.
How many times did you lock her in here? How many times did you make her cry?
Pink Diamond begged to be taken as seriously as the others. Caine is begging to be taken as seriously as his replacement, leading to many childish outbursts from the two of them. The way they freed themselves, however, couldn't be any more different. Caine went from being discarded to escaping and transforming into a ruler. Rose went from being a ruler to banishing herself. Rose found freedom beyond her purpose, while Caine was trapped by his, haunted by the thought he'll never do his job right. The humans are Rose's savior, showing her a world beyond what she was made for, while Caine was created by humans, desperate for their validation. While they're both stuck feeling like failures, they lash out in violent ways. As Pink Diamond, she physically and emotionally abused Pink Pearl.
That's absurd. I am fine.
How could White be so careless?
Oh no, Pearl, you've got it all wrong. Pink did this. You remember how she was, with her destructive powers throwing tantrums left and right? She had a scream that could crack the walls. She didn't mean to hurt me. I just happened to be standing too close to her.
And when the circus humans told Caine he doesn't listen, he threw them all in their personal hells. He felt underappreciated, so he traumatized them with everything they were running away from. Oh, you want to feel more at home? Here's your abusive mother. Oh, you think I lie? Here's you lying to yourself, worried what people will see on the inside. Rose Quartz's story is told out of order, so a lot of her worst moments are shown after her best. Her abusing Pink Pearl wasn't revealed until the time skip in Steven Universe Future. After we saw how terrible isolation was for her, we see her do the same to someone else. She abandoned Spinel in the movie. Through looking at their cruelty back to back, I realize they lash out at the people that remind them of what they're trying to run away from. So for Pink Diamond, she lashed out the most at Pink Pearl and Spinel. She doesn't look at them as people. She looks at them as reminders of this life that she didn't ask for and doesn't want. And it's the same with Caine. I mean, he's obviously trying to throw himself into this job, but when it ends up backfiring, it's just a reminder of all the things he isn't and all the things he wants to be but can't be. With the strict and restrictive roles of each gem, feeling not enough is seen in multiple Steven Universe characters. Spinel and Caine are both discarded entertainers. Amethyst and Caine both feel like they were made wrong because they were told as much.
Despite the fact that you're defective.
Defective?
Defective.
I never asked to be made!
The two both laugh away any human's concerns. Oh, Zubul, I already fixed your body image problem. Oh, Greg, you were trying to fuse with me? You were trying to create a connection with me that you won't be able to? Rose laughs in her boyfriend's face.
I'm starting to wonder if you respect me?
Oh, you're hilarious, Mr. Universe.
Rose, please! Can you just talk to me?
I will say, I feel like this scene between Rose and Greg, with Rose just laughing at him, would have been seen as way harsher if the roles were reversed. Rose Quartz is an asshole, but the manic pixie dream girl of it all makes us put on our rose-tinted glasses.
Wow.
Another huge difference is even though they both escaped, Caine will never be where the people are. He wants to see 'em dancing. He is just as trapped as the humans in the circus.
But he's just as much of a prisoner as you are. One that, won't be able to leave with us.
Rose Quartz is a fish out of water because she came to Earth, but Caine is a fish in water surrounded by people drowning. More accurately, he's a fish in a fishbowl because, yeah, he's still better off than the others who can't breathe, but he's still not free. And also, he made the damn fishbowl too. We see the humans possess similar insatiable qualities. You know how Caine and Rose dream of something more and run away from who they are? The humans they think so highly of and love do the exact same thing.
Humans!
Steven's father, Greg, sings about space. He loves writing music about comets and the universe. Universe isn't even his original last name. It's his stage name. Welcome to the party, Mr. Universe. I'm so glad we are a part of you. Looking at how much larger the universe is outside of his own experiences fascinates him and comforts him. He loves it. He runs away from his parents' expectations to dream of a world beyond his own. C&A, the company who made Caine, was made up of employees like Kinger and Scratch, who were looking for answers outside of their own humanity. How would a robot think if we gave them the tools to? Even those in the circus who aren't programmers put on the headset. They're all running from themselves. Their avatars reflect insecurities they don't want to face. They claim to want the real world back, but they don't want to confront the few things about the real world that remain. The shows have different lessons about hope. Steven Universe teaches that hope can save the world, or at the very least make the world a better place. But Amazing Digital Circus preaches that hope is a necessity even if things don't get better, even if they stay the same, even if they get worse. You need hope. Humanity is also viewed through very different lenses. In Steven Universe, humans were pretty much solely the victims. We couldn't help that aliens tried to take over the world, to the point where even the continents and historical events are different than the world as we know them. Shout out to this TikToker. This is the level of overanalysis I need. This is the energy I need. The circus, however, is a warning. Humans need to stop playing around with forces we don't understand. We cannot create life outside ourselves ourselves until we invest more time in understanding each other, the other creatures we share the earth with, and maybe not even after that. Rose and Caine also hide what they cannot fix. When gems are corrupted, they're bubbled and stuck in this room, away from everything else. When humans give up and abstract in the circus, Caine sticks them in the cellar. Even them keeping their problems unseen feels vaguely human. But everything is taken to a very isolating, very morally questionable extreme. Blue Diamond abducted humans and trapped them in space in this zoo. Blue Diamond thought this would satisfy Pink Diamond's amusement and curiosity. Obviously, it did not. Seeing humans trapped in a world they don't belong in is very different than seeing them free on Earth. I mean, just ask Caine. The human zoo and the circus humans should show the same level of resentment towards their captors, but none of the original human prisoners are there in the zoo. Multiple generations have come and gone. There was probably the same fear and animosity in the first generation of zoo humans we never got to see. But the human descendants are so far removed from their humanity. They look like humans but don't act like it at all because they've never interacted with Earth. But the circus prisoners still act like humans despite being digital copies that don't even resemble humans. It's all a matter of remembering Earth. Also, in the episode where we meet the zoo humans, they all want to get with Greg. We think this is because of his rock star aura, his flowing hair, his award-winning smile. But guys, the zoo human descendants probably have very little genetic diversity. They're probably all cousins at this point. That's probably why they all want to jump Greg's bones. Pink Diamond didn't just doom the humans for her own selfish wants, she also doomed all of the other Rose Quartzes. Bruh. She incriminated an entire group she's not even a part of, to the point where the other diamonds bubbled every Rose Quartz. While she's not responsible for how the diamonds act, she knew how resentful they are, and didn't think of the repercussions of her new identity. She abandoned Spinel, she bubbled Bismuth, and didn't tell the rebellion where their friend went. In a very similar way, Caine views the non-playable characters he's created as completely expendable. They are dolls in a toy house for the humans to play with, and nothing more. Him hating his own creations that much, other AI that are just like him, shows a level of self-hatred. I was also cooking with the idea that Moon from the Amazing Digital Circus is very similar to Pearl. They both openly pine but are cast aside for the humans. When episode 8 ended with Caine being deleted, I could just see the Moon singing Pearl's iconic song, I was fine with humans, 'cause they always ended up abstracted. I was fine with the death, but it didn't really matter until you were deleted. Two episodes I want to compare are Storm in the Room and the Beach episode. Both are wish fulfillment that leave our humans feeling emptier and more hopeless than ever.
You lie to us constantly!
I know what you are! You're a liar!
The season 4 episode Storm in the Room explores Steven's turmoil over never getting to meet his mom. All he's left with are conflicting stories. So much good, so much bad. He just wanted to know the real Rose. As he talks to her portrait, the door to her room opens, activated by his own emotions as well as the gem they share. He enters this dream-like cloudy space, and he even says, I know nothing in here is real, but I want to see my mom. And of course, even that awareness doesn't prevent the pain. She appears, it feels very real. He confesses that he's made to feel like he has to live up to her, and she reassures him he's perfect the way he is. Exactly what he wanted her to say. He falls for this illusion, and as he goes to take a picture of both of them together, he's reminded he's all alone. He tells this apparition everything he knows. Bismuth wanted to shatter the diamonds, so you bubbled her and lied to the others about it. Steven also expresses disappointment and confusion that Rose would do all of that just to go on to shatter Pink Diamond. This was before it was revealed she staged the shattering and was Pink Diamond all along, but he is finally letting it out. He is infuriated she left him to deal with everything she started. In the Beach episode of the Amazing Digital Circus, all of the humans are convinced they're about to escape, but it was just an elaborate adventure by Caine to give them something that felt more real. Not only that, Caine was trying to convince them
You'd rather stay with me!
They were all complaining they wanted something more real, but when he gave them the real realization that they'd never leave, they were crushed. No exit in the circus. But Steven was Rose's exit, and now he's left with her mess while also mourning this part of himself.
I learned to stay true to myself by watching myself die.
Both illusions were cut off abruptly by harsh realities. What is Rose hiding? What is Caine hiding? Rose's double life had a lot of build-up, but the official reveal was in Season 5's A Single Pale Rose. This was my Super Bowl, this was my Roman Empire, this was my Knicks in 5 all in one. Topical reference. Steven knew that Pearl had something to do with Pink Diamond shattering more than she was telling him. What he didn't know is that she physically couldn't tell him. She kept covering her mouth. It looked like she didn't even want to cover her mouth, but was forced to. Pearl is able to store things inside of her gem, and while her phone is stored in there, Pearl started sending Steven some cryptic texts and emojis. Not emojis! This is when Pearl had the idea that Steven should travel inside her gem. I can't tell you what happened, but what if I show you? There are layers Steven has to experience. On the surface is organized Pearl. Very on the nose, she says she's good at compartmentalizing. Then we have 3 layers of trauma. First, Pearl processing Rose's second, more official death.
What was she thinking? She can't have a baby.
Well, this is awkward.
Steven jumps in third Pearl's Pearl before seeing Pearl transformed as Rose. The biggest reveal of this episode back when I watched it isn't that Rose was pink and that the shattering was staged. The biggest reveal is that this whole life, this huge secret, was kept from Garnet and Amethyst. She tossed Bismuth aside because her wanting to shatter Pink Diamond, uh-oh, scary, that's me! It was getting too messy, and it would also unravel her plan to get rid of Pink Diamond herself.
I can't exactly shatter myself.
She wanted to leave her old life behind, so Pink Diamond gave Pearl one last command as her leader. Tell no one. I wonder if Pearl would have been able to sing it. She didn't say I couldn't sing. Or, at least maybe she could have written it. Steven, the truth is, your mother is... No. It's actually pretty fucked up. Pearls are made to obey the diamonds, so this goes far beyond loyalty. She was programmed to be obedient. The only one who was with the lying leader from the start, unable to explain to the others the origin story, reminded me of Kinger. I at first thought that Caine affected Kinger's intelligence, so the others would learn less about the company and the fact that they're digital copies, but that's more of a headcanon. Even if Caine wasn't the one to affect Kinger's memory, the one way Caine did control the others was by refusing to tell them that they too can conjure and create things in this digital world just like he can. If they don't know how much power they have, he still has a job and they still have to rely on him. When Pomni saw the exit door in the first episode that she unknowingly created herself, Caine was quick to shut it down, saying she was just hallucinating, and he was panicked about it. If humans can create things, they don't need him, and if they don't need him, what's the point? When Pomni calls Caine a failure at the end of episode 8, that's when he turned into that hot multi-armed monster. Who said that? Caine and Rose are clearly both very dangerous. Let's compare the imagery that represents them. Rose for Rose, of course, and a bee for Caine. Thorns for a rose, stinger for a bee. Once a bee stings, it completely disarms itself. It's defenseless. When a rose is plucked from the ground and dies, the thorns remain. This can represent how Rose is haunting the narrative. I also think a rose is associated with romance. It is expected to be admired without doing much. But when I think of bees, I think of a colony. I think of work. Worker bees. They work their asses off to be accepted, or they're kicked out of the damn hive.
Human.
Humans?
Feeling misunderstood and out of place is a very human emotion, and it's impossible to run away from. Rose wanted to be human not only to grow and change, but I also suspect she wanted to belong.
Can you just talk to me for 1 second like a real person?
I'm not a real person.
But all it did was leave Steven with the same confusion and insecurity.
Human beings?
Human beings. Human beings.
Through this video, Steven Universe Future finally clicked for me. I used to not like it at all, but Steven Universe Future is Steven finally acting like his mom, which supposedly everyone wanted throughout the series, and it was an absolute nightmare. I also re-listened to the song I'd Rather Be Me With You, and Steven was trying to escape in a fusion with Caine, another human, to feel more complete. Steven doesn't feel human enough or gem enough. Rose thought she'd escape her trauma, but instead she just passed it on. Also, gems are capable of change. Through extreme trauma, Blue Diamond gained bags under her eyes, permanent tear stains. The orientation of Spinel's gem changed after her heart was broken. Same tear streaks. She mourned like Blue Diamond and inflicted her pain onto others. Unfortunately, that is very human. In Steven Universe Future, there's even a school for gems with newfound freedom and how to fit in on Earth. Can't you imagine Caine in this classroom eagerly asking questions? That's pretty much what happened at the end of the Amazing Digital Circus finale. We'll get into that as much as I don't want to.
I learned to stay true to myself.
They could kill me.
By watching myself.
They already did.
Caine throughout the series is so obsessed with his purpose because the humans gave it to him. And all he wants to do is prove himself through his creations to his creators. Before I saw the finale, I was super fixated on this moment in Luke Kerfuffle's video.
I just wish Caine could have seen the power he had, not as a god, but as a person.
And I do wonder if he would have had that realization himself if he didn't meet humans as they're all trapped and in crisis. If he was somehow able to go to Earth, I don't think it would have been necessary for Caine to learn through the fear of being deleted again. Pink Diamond / Rose was, once again, inspired by humans' ability to change. Caine scanned the humans' mind files to make an avatar that represents them. And when the humans don't like it, he cannot fathom why. Like Rose said, humans are expected to choose what they want for themselves, who they want to be. Caine gained this empathy through the finale, and I have thoughts that I'm going to save for my second channel video, so this doesn't become a bummer. I am genuinely happy for you if you enjoyed it. Let's focus on the journey and comparison, not what I would change. At the end of episode 8, Caine tortures everyone, he gets deleted. People held funerals at conventions. It was a whole ordeal, and then he was brought back. The biggest clown in the circus wasn't Kaufmo, it wasn't Pomni, it wasn't that stupid egg or the one they forgot about. No, it was all of us all along. We're the clowns. After we hop into Jax's deceased brain to meet many versions of himself and to learn about his trauma, Pearl did it better by the way, we reunite with Caine. He looks pretty good for a dead bitch. He is in the void, Bubble is no longer harassing him. Bubble is just reflecting Caine back at himself, which is what I suspect he was doing all along. In the new abstraction figurines, we see that Caine's version of abstraction is him surrounded by bubbles. The tantrum with the many bubbles calling him worthless was his version of abstracting. He lost himself and now he's abandoned again. He is reliving the rejection, he's reliving the loneliness, he's coping with the guilt. I love the way it cut between past and present. His out-of-the-box thinking is the only way to free himself. He moves on from his past, from his shame, he apologizes to the humans, he's honest with them, and against all odds, he gets a happy ending. And not only that, he gets a little moment with Mommy Moon.
I never programmed you to say you loved me.
I know.
Hey, yo!
Should we leave? I feel like I'm intruding. In the finale, it's also revealed that Caine hid the fact that they were digital copies from them. My theory is that he only kept this a secret because when he told Scratch he abstracted. Isn't he the one that wanted to escape in the first place? I think he just wanted to upload his consciousness, not create a copy. The realization that he's still out there dying and that he didn't escape made Scratch give up. What's the point if I'm not even the original? That's what I think, given Caine's reaction to what Kinger said in episode 7. Play the clip.
I may have the ability to add temporary modifiers to make adventures more interesting, but that's it. If I did anything more, trust me, it would not end well.
Scratch. The first abstraction.
Hey! I didn't say anything like that!
If you want to hear all my thoughts on the finale, I have a second channel video out now. Too long, didn't watch a second video. I actually like the message, but the execution didn't really hit for me, so I talk about what I would have changed there. By all means, if you enjoyed and you don't want me to yuck your yum, don't watch, you know? But I will present a very half-baked fanfiction idea right now. Please! Let me cook!
What's going on?
So while I was comparing Caine to Rose Quartz, I had this silly idea. What if Caine was somehow able to talk to a human on the outside, fall in love, have a little human baby that he passed his digital consciousness onto? I'm imagining him reaching out with wires through the headset. Well, okay, Rose has the gem that she passed on. What the heck would Caine pass on to a baby? Oh my god! This child is born with full teeth. Yeah, it's a terrifying little creature, but roll with me here, roll with me. Even if he's going on dates with his person, maybe it's a self-insert of me, I don't know. Maybe he's in a little, like, digital watch, and he really loved it at first, but then he realized he's not smelling the flowers, he's not touching grass, he's not feeling the wind in his gums. You're gonna be a real-life human being! Wowee! Gummy get. Don't forget, every time you love yourself, that's me loving you and loving being you. That's my impression of Caine. I did reach out to Alex Rochon. He's booked and busy. But can't you just see it? I bet you're wondering, okay, Steven had to deal with the mess Rose left behind. What would Caine leave behind? I think that Caine's child's journey would be stopping more people from putting on the headset and being copied into this world. And it wouldn't be an easy journey because somebody took the headset to their house and it's not in the building anymore or something like that. And maybe every time this digital child goes to sleep, they're able to visit the circus prisoners. Maybe. I thought it would be cute and cool. You don't understand me. I was going to write out this whole fan fiction and post it anonymously and then be like, guys, did you see that fan fiction? That was actually me. But A, when would I have the time? B, what if no one found it, you know? And C, I already have my Squid Bob fanfiction that I really need to get back to. So if you see this and you like this fanfiction idea, don't even ask if you can do it. Just do it, okay? Please. Don't let our dreams be dreams. I feel like this has potential. Thank you so much to all of the artists. Please be sure to check out their links in the description below. I was talking to my friend Aunt Dina about the finale, and then she offered to make me art for the second channel video. So now, even more amazing art over there as well. I'm about to play all of the animated parts again with Everyone's a Name. I made a mashup of Love Like You and One Who's Running the Show back when I thought that Caine would have that tragic ending. I still think it's fun. It's a little bit cacophonous. Cacophmosis. But I still think it's fun. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to subscribe, like, hype the video. We got on the hype page for books last time. I read now, apparently. Have a great day, butt lovers. I do demand it. Watch the credits, please. These animators are too darn talented. Bye! If I could begin to be half of what you think of me, I could do about anything. We could go on and on, but in the end, who are we kidding? My divinity is past infinity, and I could even learn how to love like you. Seems our regime has plummeted. I always thought I might be bad. Now I'm sure that it's true, 'cause if I ain't got a mouth and I'm nothing like you, look at you go. feet. I just only you. When I see congratulations, shaking my friend, it took I could do about anything. Are